Exercise for kids and teens has become a real hot button issue in the last few years, and that's largely due to the amount of time that kids are spending in front of screens. So, as a physical therapist, I can give you all of the research and recommendations as to how much exercise kids need and why it's important. But as a mom of 3, I have a real-world understanding of just how difficult it can be to get our kids moving. So, what are we supposed to do? Hey everybody, and welcome back to Pediatric Therapy Essentials. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Dr. Heather Sossaman, and I'm a pediatric physical therapist. And here on my channel, I create both educational videos where we break down complex and confusing medical topics into words that we can all understand, as well as movement videos. And these encourage development, activity, and exercise in kids of all ability levels. Now, if you enjoyed today's video and you find value in it, I would really appreciate it if you'd give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing to this channel. And you can do that by hitting that subscribe button that's just below the video or the one at the end. I think we all know that we really need to get our kids exercising and moving on a daily basis. But figuring out how to do that in a way that's fun and exciting can feel a little daunting to teachers, therapists, and parents. So in today's video, I do want to review the basics of exercise. I want to give you the recommendations for the amount of activity kids should be getting, as well as the reason why, so that we do have a basic understanding of what our kids need. But then I want to dive into some real-world helpful tips to help you get your kids moving and reduce your frustration. So if you're ready, let's dive in. So the American Academy of Pediatrics does give us some guidelines for how much activity our kids should be getting. And those guidelines are based on their age. So for infants, they recommend about 30 minutes of tummy time spread out throughout their day. For kids age 3 to 5, they recommend 3 hours of activity. Now that means 15 minutes out of every hour they should be moving. And if you've ever been around a 3 to 5-year-old, you know that's how much they want to be moving. They do recommend that one of those hours be vigorous exercise, which means exercise that causes them to breathe heavy and be sweating and really getting moving. And for our kiddos over age 6, they recommend 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous exercise almost every day. Now, there are lots of important reasons that we need to exercise. The first is that exercise helps strengthen our cardiovascular system. And that includes our heart, our lungs, and our circulatory system. And as we begin to challenge our cardiovascular system, we burn calories. And if we burn the same amount of calories that we take in by eating and drinking each day, that helps us to maintain a healthy weight. Exercise is also very important for our bones and joints. As we exercise, we put force and pressure through our bones and joints. And this pressure tells our body to create the necessary chemicals to keep those bones and joints nice and strong. Exercise can also help with sleep. And as I've said in previous videos, I do have a child with ADHD. And he finds that when he performs regular, consistent exercise, it's not only easier for him to fall asleep, but it's also easier for him to stay asleep throughout the night, which can be a real challenge for kids with ADHD. Exercise is also very important for our brains. It increases the amount of blood flow that we get to our brains. It increases the level of neurotransmitters in our brains, which are those important chemicals that allow our brains to work. And it can increase our arousal level. All of these combined can really help us to improve our focus and complete academic tasks. And I think we're all really familiar with the fact that exercise has psychological effects. It can improve our sense of well-being as well as our mood. Okay, now that we know how much exercise kids need and we know all the reasons why that exercise is so important, let's talk about those tips and tricks I promised on how to get your kids to do it. Number 1, think about exercise in short little blocks of time. If we look at our schedules and try to figure out how to find huge blocks of time for exercise, we're gonna get frustrated and give up. And if we're trying to convince our child to exercise for a prolonged period of time and they're not really used to doing it, they're gonna resist. But If we break exercise down into 5 to 10 minute blocks, it's gonna be a whole lot easier to get your kids to do it, and it's gonna be a lot easier for you to find the time. Now, if you've been around my channel for a while, you know that I love to create movement videos that are just perfect for this. They're 5 to 10 minute exercises for kids of all different ability levels. And I'll list my Movement Breaks playlist up above as well as in the description box. But there's exercises in sitting and standing, there's dancing and fun activities like scavenger hunts. There's lots of different ways that you can convince kids to exercise for that short period of time. Number 2 is shake things up. We don't want our kids to get bored with the activity because that's going to provide resistance for them to do it. So try doing different kinds of exercise every day to see what your kid really enjoys and to keep things fun and interesting. Number 3, combine exercise with family time. Go on a short walk together after dinner. Take the dog if you have one. Or try a quick yoga session before everybody goes to bed so that you can relax. Or take a family scavenger hunt. There's lots of different things that you can do together as a family to get everybody moving. Number 4, start slowly. If it's been a while since you exercised, don't try to run a marathon on the first day. Instead, take baby steps. So maybe go for a couple walks around the block the first day, or take a short bike ride, or go to the playground. Keep it fun and simple so that your kids buy into it and are willing to keep going. And last but not least, try making it a competition. Put a chart on the refrigerator and see who can do the most minutes of exercise each day. Or see which member of the family can be the most consistent with getting their 60 minutes in a day. And maybe that person gets out of the weekend chores. Whatever creative idea you can come up with to get everybody invested in the program. Well, that's my top 5 list of simple ways to get kids moving. I hope that you found it helpful. If you have other ideas that can help us get our kids moving, please be sure to leave them in the comment section below so we can share them with everybody else. And I know I went through that information a little quick, so if you would like to read more about it, please head over to my website, pediatrictherapyessentials.com, and check out the blog post that goes along with today's video. Well, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more. Thank you so much for stopping by today, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Bye!